You work hard all month, check your bank account, and wonder where all your money actually went. You are not alone. Right now, the average American saves barely 4% of what they earn. That means for every $100 coming in, $96 goes right back out to pay for a lifestyle that probably leaves you feeling stressed anyway. But on the other side of the planet, Japanese working households save an incredible 37% of their income. And it's not because they make dramatically more money or live in deprivation. In fact, Japan has millions of vending machines, convenience stores everywhere, and a thriving consumer culture. Yet, more than half of the average Japanese household's wealth is safely sitting in cash at the bank, compared to a mere 13% for Americans. The difference isn't about making more money, it's about a completely different operating system for how they think about what they spend. Most of us rely on budgeting apps that automatically track our purchases. You check your phone, feel mildly terrible about how much you spent on dining out, and then order delivery anyway. These tools are designed to record your behavior, not actually change it. But the Japanese approach starts with a feeling, not a piece of software. There's an ancient concept in Japan called motenai, which roughly translates to a deep sense of regret over wasting the true value of something. It comes from the idea that everything exists in relationship. To waste a grain of rice is to disrespect the farmer who grew it, the soil that fed it, and the hands that prepared it. When you apply motenai to your money, buying something you will only use 3 times and then forget about feels genuinely uncomfortable. Upgrading a phone that works perfectly fine, or keeping a streaming subscription you haven't watched in months suddenly feels like a profound loss of value. Americans have outsourced this feeling to flexible return policies, throwing away millions of items and fueling a massive self-storage industry to hold the overflow of things we bought but do not actually need. To break this cycle, you have to completely reverse the order of how you handle your paycheck. In Japan, there's a health principle called hara hachi bu, which means you should stop eating when you're 80% full. People who practice this live significantly longer and healthier lives. When you translate this to your finances, it's pure magic. Instead of earning, spending, and hoping to save whatever's left over, you take 20% of your paycheck and move it out of sight the moment you get paid. You build your entire life on the remaining 80%. Your perception of enough adjusts to whatever you give it. So if you commit to living on 80%, that 80% will soon feel like 100%. The discomfort is entirely temporary, but the wealth you build becomes permanent. But how do you actually stick to living on that 80%? This is where a brilliant 120-year-old invention comes in. Back in 1904, Japan's first female newspaper reporter, Hani Motoko, created a household accounting system for women who managed family finances but had no formal tools to help them. She called it kakebo, and by the 1960s, half of all Japanese households were using it. There's no app, no algorithm, and no digital syncing. It's just a physical notebook and a pen. At the start of every month, you sit down with your notebook and answer 4 simple questions. You write down how much money you have, how much you want to save, how much you are spending, and how you can improve. Then, you manually write down every single purchase you make into one of 4 categories. The first is needs, like your rent and groceries. The second is wants, which covers dining out or new clothes. The third is culture, meaning books, courses, or experiences that help you grow. And the final category is unexpected expenses, like a medical bill or a car repair. You might be thinking this sounds incredibly tedious, but that friction is exactly why it works. Modern neuroscience has proven that writing by hand activates complex regions of your brain associated with memory and learning, whereas typing on a keyboard barely registers. The brain treats handwriting as a meaningful act. When an app automatically categorizes a $40 delivery order, you feel nothing. But when you have to physically write down that you spent $40 on a Tuesday night because you were stressed and trying to avoid cooking, you're forced to process your own behavior. You have to confront whether that purchase was a genuine want, a real need, or just you being bored. Feelings change behavior. not data charts on a screen. At the end of the month, the Kakebo system doesn't ask if you hit an arbitrary mathematical target. Instead, it acts like a therapy session for your spending. You reflect on what went well, what brought you true satisfaction, and what you'll change next month. Over time, this daily practice connects you to another powerful Japanese concept called taru wo shiru, which means learning to know what is enough. American consumer culture is engineered to make you feel like you never have enough, using one-click checkouts to erase the pause between wanting something and buying it. Kakebo puts that pause back into your life. It adds friction to bad habits and makes spending feel real again. You don't need an expensive budgeting program to take control of your financial future. You just need a $3 notebook, a pen, and the willingness to look honestly at where your life energy is going. Start by moving 20% of your next paycheck out of reach and write down every single thing you buy with the rest. The apps will keep sending you notifications that you ignore, but the notebook is waiting to actually change your life.